Hey everybody, how's it going? I just wanted to make a quick video on this channel addressing why I have been gone for as long as I have. If you head to my channel right now and check out the last time that I went live, it was approximately on the 31st of December of last year, which makes this an entire year since I've ever gone live on this channel. I want to structure this video in a way that will ensure that you pretty much just have to kind of watch the first few minutes of the video to get an idea of what's going to change, and you can basically proceed to skip over the rest of it if you want, if you don't really care much about the reason behind why I've been absent. For starters, what I actually want to go ahead and do differently is that I am no longer going to be shooting for specifically 2-hour long streams, under the exception that whatever I'm streaming is something I'm actually interested in. Otherwise, I want to cut down on the amount of time that I do stream, as I don't know, I get very fatigued after a while. Even an hour into a stream, I can get very tired. I'm not sure exactly the reason why, other than it probably is just... Another change that I'm going to be rolling out is that my schedule is finally returning. I believe that this is the reason that I have been absent, or have been very lackluster when it comes to actually sitting down and streaming. The idea behind this scheduleless approach was that I was able to basically sit down and stream whenever I wanted to. This didn't end up working out, as you could probably tell, because I would essentially leave for maybe 2 or 3 months, or even longer than that, and then come back, and then maybe stream one more time, and then just leave again. Something needed to change. I needed to get back into a proper schedule. I wanted to actually keep producing more of this type of content because, well, I'm never going to be able to actually sit down and play the games I wanted to and make content out of it the way that I've wanted to, so something needed to change, and it was that. The schedule being Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. EST, with streams lasting somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours. And basically, in regards to that, not much has really changed from when I used to stream on Twitch, and when I actually had a schedule that worked pretty well for what it was. Another interesting change that I've also decided to just go ahead and point out is that I now have 2 monitors, which actually means that I can put whatever game I'm streaming in full screen, which means that I am now actually able to stream in 1080p. I don't know if this will mean too much in regards to the quality difference, just something I felt like pointing out. And finally, I am shooting for my debut stream back to be on January 4th of 2025. And it's going to be Little Kitty Big City, an indie game where you play as a cat and you get to dick around and mess with people, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I, of course, also have a plethora of other things in my Steam library that I'm going to be knocking off and making a plethora of streams out of, just trying to kind of take this in a different approach, to say the least. Now it's actually time to get into the actual reason that I've been as absent as I was. Ever since I started streaming, I have had internet-related problems. And what I had to work with at the time was I wouldn't say it's the router's fault, but it was downstairs, on top of a computer desk, and I was upstairs, which means that that was the only type of way I was even able to get internet access. I was lucky to even be able to watch a video in HD, and downloads would usually take hours, and I just dealt with that. It was fine at the time, but when I got around to actually live streaming is when the problems really started to show their ugly faces. Then, things would only get worse in regards to the internet speeds when the router would get moved downstairs to the basement, meaning that I was now 2 stories away from the Wi-Fi router, which meant that the internet speeds would only worsen. I'm pretty sure I had about less than a megabit of upload speed to work with, and that is something I had been trying to work out for the longest time. Eventually, I decided to do a stream where I decided to use my phone's lightning cable as a bit of an Ethernet cable of sorts, and that actually worked. I one time played Minecraft on a Twitch stream and was able to actually get a stream to not have frames be dropped, and I was able to stream in a pretty solid resolution with a pretty good bitrate. That didn't last, however, and I started having problems again. This led to me giving up once again. A year would go by without any streams from me, and eventually T-Mobile would become available in my area, and I would get that sorted out. At first, it was a disaster. It was bad. There were certain points of the day where the internet speeds were akin to that of dial-up, and it was not good. Apparently they even had some kind of security breach, so, people's personal info probably got leaked for sure. And eventually, we would end up kind of trying them again, but this time with a new unit that's right over there. And yeah, it turned out to be a lot better. Which is the crazy part, because we had such a negative impression at first, but now I was able to actually sit down with my new Ethernet cable that I acquired at that time, because I'd been told that that makes a difference between a stream actually working the way it's supposed to. And that's when everything kind of changed, because now I was able to sit down, stream, and hardly have issues with buffering or frame drops. But then I needed to actually focus on having the content I was putting out be good. I guess one could say that that was something I was always supposed to consider, but I guess now I really needed to consider that. And because I have the stability of an actual live stream, I now needed to figure out how to actually make the streams I was doing interesting. The point of Goranguy123 Live was to provide an outlet for those that wanted like a break from the antics that some might see over on the main channel, where all of the effort goes pretty much. Here, I wanted to just sit down, play games, and chat with you guys. I am not here to put on like a grand old show where there are sketches upon sketches. I kind of just wanted to have everything that I did and everything that I said just be on the spot, improv, all that stuff. Yeah, this is me in post, so there's like no face cam here. Basically, I wanted to also point out that I didn't want to have to essentially put on a character every single time I wanted to stream, and I didn't want to have to resort to that to make my streams more interesting, and I felt like that was pretty important to throw in here, so that's why I'm doing this. But that's really difficult for me, because with me, I need a lot of time to, for example, write the jokes that I come up with for my own videos, and to have to do that in real time is quite difficult. If you've ever spoken to me personally or sat in a VC with me, I am quite a different person off the camera. And I sort of try to, not have, I guess this, I don't know how to really describe this, the more brain-rotted side of me show on these streams, even if it does kind of show every now and then. But for the most part, I just want to do what I can to be genuine, I suppose, not try to put on too much of a show. I kind of just want to relax in a way, even though streaming is not really what I would entirely consider relaxing, because things can still go wrong and you still have to be entertaining to some degree. And that's just how it works. And that's essentially what I've signed up to ever since I started streaming. What I think it was all the way back in either 2017 or 2018, when I was still using XSplit, and when I couldn't even manipulate bitrate, so I couldn't even do anything against the horrendous performance of the streams at the time. Like, God, completely unwatchable garbage. You can actually get an example of this if you look at the Baby's Nightmare Circus stream that I did on the main channel, and that stream is still technically archived. It's the only relic that you have of what it used to look like and how bad it was. And not to sound like XQC, but streaming is just difficult for me. It's difficult because I have to kind of keep my energy levels up for the most part. I have to figure out interesting things to say that don't feel out of pocket. And I don't know, I guess I've just considered for a while that I haven't been the most confident in the content that I've been producing in the live streaming side of things. And yeah, that kind of thing has sort of gotten to me quite a lot of times. But I've had to slowly come to the realization that you can't really control what goes on in a live stream. You can't decide, alright, I want my live stream to perform like shit. Which you can't do, not that you even would want to. I'm just saying that you can't control these things. You kind of just have to improvise a lot of things. And if you actually have, like, jokes in your head that you've sort of planned out that you want to have a way to execute at one point in your stream, that's fine. It's just that, that type of thing is really hard to do when you're live or if you're Jerma. Correcting myself here by saying, unless you're Jerma. All I'm really trying to say is that I am doing my best, and I'm going to do what I can to push content for you guys that you might actually be interested in. Things like, I don't know, older FPS games that come to mind are a thing that I might actually plan on doing at one point. And of course, tackling other series that I might have just kind of quit for a while but are pretty much just dormant. Coming back to games that I honestly think can just be streamed for as long as I care. And of course, checking out some new things that pique my interest, mostly indie games. I also can't guarantee that I'll be able to wholly stick to a schedule like this. Sometimes it might just be a really bad day to stream, and that's not really something that I can avoid, unfortunately. But I'm going to do what I can to sort of stick with this schedule as close as I can, and give myself enough leeway to, if I want to, also turn the streams into their own videos. And of course, to anyone that decided to also create clips, and to those that are on Tube Tomfoolery, which is my personal Discord that I use as a little hangout section, and just a place for people to kind of be gathered together and play games together. And basically it just really helps to see people kind of just, you know, share clips that they've created using the YouTube's clip feature, and I'm able to turn those into their own short little videos and upload them here. It might be a little bit messy, and I'm going to try to get a bit organized, because I plan on creating highlights in general, video versions of certain live streams that I think make great videos, clips, and an actual stream VOD. Maybe consider just looking at the playlists themselves. In other news, I've also decided to overhaul my stream layout. I think it looks a lot better now. It is featuring the art and animation of a variety of different artists that I will be showing off at some point, and of course be giving full credit to when the time comes. I am really excited to show them off, and I honestly absolutely adore how they all came out, so I hope you guys like it. And yeah, hopefully I can finally get back to streaming consistently, because again, I've been wanting to get back into doing this for quite some time. I know it seems like a lot of what I'm saying now is pretty redundant. I'm trying not to go that route, but it looks like I already have. I just want to thank you guys for your patience, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you did do that, I just really appreciate it, and that's basically it. I will see you guys in about a week from now. Bye, everybody.